Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Here's the crazy thing, AKAPAD, and this is a little bit. I know sometimes there's to quote Harlan Ellison, there is an edge in my voice, and the reason for that it's very simple. I get frustrated. I just do. I see the times change. I see people younger and younger lose a complete sense of history, and a lot of it goes back to my father, who I think him and I, just as adults, even through my teen years, grew apart in how we viewed the world, what our beliefs were. But at the same time, like, the commonality was we were father and son, and that's a bond that can't be broken. But a lot of my history buffness, and yes, guys, we are talking about film buffery. Anyone that tunes in knows, I can go on and on about the history of film, of some of these movies, and just the industry. That is because I deeply believe the history of this, maybe you won't put that in quotes, but the world we live in, the culture that surrounds us, and the history that the culture is built on. I get frustrated when, I see just a lot of younger people who just want to denounce the military. They can't talk positive about local law enforcement. And that's not excusing everything that these people are accused of or done. Like, no institution is perfect, and once you believe that, you can kind of move on from it, and that doesn't mean you can't have a perspective on what's right or what's wrong. But there is something brewing in America today, which is this pushback against what the military is supposed to do. Memorial Day should be a month-long celebration. It really should. It came to us through the Civil War, one of the most brutal conflicts in world history, and one of the most documented brutal conflicts in world history. Civil War history should be, I believe, a year-long study in public schools. I believe once you enter middle school through high school, you should have a complete view of the Civil War. You should have a curriculum of the Civil War every single year. It shouldn't be a month for American history and we all kind of move on from it. Memorial Day should be a month-long celebration. It really should. There's so many things we see that, and in today's case, this movie, 2025 Warefare, co-directed by Alex Garland, who we loved with Civil War. He's the one that brought us Annihilation. Now, I don't know if my Civil War, I feel like I'm saying this a lot. I don't know if my Civil War episode ever got released. We Ain't Like His Men, 2022, his Ex Machina, 2014, that he wrote and directed. That is really what put him on the map. Ex Machina, I view, looking back, maybe I was a little too harsh on that, but I've returned to that film a couple times, and I still don't buy the CEO not knowing what the behavior of his creation would lead to. The audience knew, so why? There's a little bit of that, but the entire structure of Ex Machina, 2014, is there. Recently, too, we were talking about Dredd and his influence. He writes Dredd, and we just get this Punisher, One Last Kill special on Disney Plus. And how much of that is inspired by Dredd. Never Let Me Go, 2010. This movie has been on my list for quite some time. 28 Days Later, writer Sunshine, 2007. We love Sunshine. We spoke about that as well. Sunshine has one of the best twists or pivot endings of all time. But really recently, in 2024, his Civil War was labeled as this woke nonsense movie. And it is nothing of that. I will be doing an episode on It's Not Woke. And some of these movies I'm going to go through, and I have to group Civil War in there just because it was falsely labeled that. Some of these movies will fall in line with being woke, and some will not. And I'm going to do my best to bring that to you guys and explain it. 28 years later, Alex wrote 28 years later, he wrote the spinoff. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Alex Garland writes stories that have a through line. He's very much like Denis Villeneuve, where there's an end to, like there's an end point to everything, and there's a through line, and there's internal logic in what he's explaining and showing you, and that logic meets an end, which is the credits. It feels satisfactory. It feels complete. I understand 28 years later confused a lot of people, but we have yet to discuss that here. But 28 years later, in my view, has a through line. And in 2028, AKAPAD, he has Elden Ring coming. What is happening? I can't believe this guy's making an Elden Ring movie. But 2025, really, like, banger year for this guy. He makes back-to-back war movies, Civil War and Warfare. He writes 28 years later, huge hit the next year, this year. 28 years later, like, I just love it. Someone completes this trilogy, writes a spin-off of that trilogy, takes the franchise in a whole other direction. It's very, very similar to what Cameron did with Aliens, where he redefined what that franchise was, and forever, the Alien franchise is a military franchise. He did something very similar with Bone Temple. But Warfare 2025, writer-director. Now, he is co-director. The other director for this movie is Ray Mendoza. I believe this is one of the guys in this conflict. Now, we have a movie that I can best describe as a short film or a short story. This is a blink of an eye. This is a day. This is one day that these guys get involved with something of the absolute most serious nature. They get sneak attacked by an IED. They are deep. Technically, we can say that they're deep undercover. They're hidden. They're waiting for a guy. The SEALs have one or two of these houses in this one neighborhood taken over. I believe it's all in Iraq, and they're just staking out this guy. They need one bullet, like one kill type stuff, and then they get extracted. And then all hell breaks loose. And what we get is not a point of if the war is justified. I 1,000% believe the entire Iraq conflict is justified. If you know anything about what those people went through, and if you know anything about how happy they were to see American soldiers fight the element off of their streets and away from their neighborhoods, I think part of the frustration and the commentary is just in maybe things not sticking. But I do believe there is a value in American presence in these parts of the world. These parts of the world are the most brutal that you can ever imagine. They literally are everything surrounding the Punisher and Punisher One Last Kill. No exaggeration. And I just believe the voice of the people is something that gets lost. This movie is one of the great war movies of all time. This movie makes you appreciate everything that these guys go through, their training, how tough they are, how well they think on their feet, just what they can do, period. It's nothing but amazing. This movie had me, after a while, it takes about 20 minutes to get there, but once we get traction in this movie, it is all inspiring. I just could not take my eyes off the television. Luckily, it's been cloudy here in Philly, so I was able to hit the blinds, roll down the blinds, cut the lights, and watch this in somewhat of a theatrical experience. And everything, the sound was cranked up. Here's the amazing thing. While I was watching this, a couple hours from finishing this movie, I had to go to a wedding party because I got this wedding this weekend, and we're breaking the bride and groom were breaking things up. It's actually like Saturday and Sunday, and yeah, I'm all better for it because it's all in Philly, it's all local, it's all a lot of fun. But AKAPADers, we will return to this movie. I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a Memorial Day message and bring you something that you must watch. It's available right now on HBO Max. Warefare 2025 is indisputably an Oscar-level movie. It's shocking that this movie did not get a true Oscar run. If you look at the accolades, this movie was making its way through every single award, nominated or won in multiple categories, and then all of a sudden, once the Golden Globes, those nominations roll around, Warfare is left out. Unbelievable. This movie is paired perfectly with the film we will get later tonight, which is the greatest war film of all time, Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down. So be on the lookout for that. We're not done with Memorial Day. I love you guys. Rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.